Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spitter Rack. I'm here with my boys, PD and Cal. Say what's up, gents.
What's up?
Cal.
Ready to rock.
Hey, so Marvel's announced in NYCC in the panel that hey, they have new Ultimate Universe of titles coming out for Spider-Man, XMen, and Black Panther. And man, bro, I don't know what to make of this stuff. First of all, let's start with the beginning. Okay, Black Panther is fairly easy, fairly simple. Got no problems with that. He looks a little different from what I would expect. What's your take on that, Cal?
You need to pass that to Petey.
Well, I'm just looking at the picture here. It's just, just a different look. For some
Look.
they have, his mouth is visible, but, it's just a different look. I guess since this is the new Ultimate Universe of stuff, they can.
Oh, we're going to get into the Ultimate Universe thing, but what do you think of the look right now?
Isn't this from the Ultimate Universe?
It is. No, but I'm saying.
So it's like the idea of Ultimate was kind of a reboot universe where you can start from scratch, but it of course got bogged down with a lot of continuity, maybe more than the original universe. But it's always if you want to just get like supposedly getting straightforward, Black Panther stories, but it never becomes that. It gets bogged down with continuity. But the costume is got some more bells and whistles to it, kind of stuff we see in the movie, kind of thing, the necklace type of thing. But they've added more of that to the costume. So, and he's got a protective orthopedic shoe boot on his foot to help him out at the same time. I don't know I don't know why that's there. I know he added it for others. That's the only thing that is kind of off for me is the mask, the mouth part of the mask, and the orthopedic bottom of his foot. Just to help him while his ankles are in bad shape.
Okay, Cal.
You have to do it to me. So what was I supposed to do?
Well, look, I would think would say, well, now that according to the blurb, they talked about this, that in Ultimate Invasion you have Khonshu and Ra, they join forces, together, and that they're basically trying to take over Africa, and that Black Panther is standing up to them, and right, he's fighting against their gods. So that means his god, what is it? Bat is helping him to fight them off, right? Because that's the remaining nation.
And this is the Ultimate Universe, or is this
in the Ultimate Universe right now?
Okay.
And they're bringing in Brian Hill, who I think did a great job in Killmonger. I think he killed it in that episode. I think at the review years ago when he did that. So
killed it.
Watching it, you want. But yeah, I think that Black Panther is not that controversial to me. That's not that controversial. But let's Spider-Man. What's your take on Spider-Man? You think they're going to fire twice? Oh, sorry. Cal, what's your take on any words about the Black Panther, or just pass again?
Pass.
Plus?
Pass. Marvel's look, they don't know what they're doing right now. Come on. Don't fool yourself.
Okay. So all right. So we're going into the Spider-Man. So the key thing here for me about Spider-Man is that they're basically giving this to who? Jonathan Hickman, one of their hot hands right now. Right. And I'm like, okay, so what has Hickman done before? That's what I want to know. Okay. What is he known for right now?
X-Men, that's what you're trying to say?
Oh, yes. So all I can say is I am in complete fear. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know what he's going to do with Spider-Man, but clearly it's not going to be what we're expecting, because nobody expected what we got from him with the X-Men. So,
well, I think it's more Spider-Man's a little more straightforward. So I don't think we'll get a House of Spider-Man, Power of Man, House of Spider, Power of Man type of deal. I think it'd probably be straightforward, and obviously he's gonna, develop his own.
Is this Spider-Man or Ultimate Spider-Man?
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
So basically, they can do whatever they want.
Well, wait a minute, wait on. So this is Ultimate Spider-Man with Peter Parker, or this is Ultimate Spider-Man like they did Ultimate Universe, or this is like a All-Star Spider-Man type thing?
I think it's an Ultimate Spider-Man in another unit. They didn't say. I assume
then it doesn't matter. This can suck all at once. It doesn't matter. We'll have Spider-Man smoking crack while driving 80 miles on
Oh
the
my
freeway.
gosh, yo, what the fudge, bro? This is a
You
family
guys told him to
program.
say something, so what else can we get? He just like the
No,
thing of it is, I get what
if
he's
it's
saying.
not six, if it's not 616, it doesn't matter. This Ultimate Spider-Man stuff is when writers give up and they're like, hey, we want to do all this stuff, but you won't let us. Come over here, let us do this. And then when they go over there, all they do is change up the relationships, give them character that we don't really care about, have them smoking crack. That's pretty much what we can look forward to.
Well, I would only add to what he's saying is that not the crack part, but the Ultimate Spider-Man died, and then we had Miles, and then it's Hickman saying, "I want to use Peter Parker, but without all the baggage," just like
Yes,
Right
Bendis
there. Right.
did,
Say that part again. Say that part again. I want to use Spider-Man.
without all
without
the
all the
baggage.
baggage.
Right. Okay. What's another word that's history. That's what he is. He doesn't want to have to adhere to any of the things that made this character who he is. He refers to it as baggage, not history, baggage. The same thing when Bendis was there, the guy who
Hey,
started
wait,
this
wait, wait, wait.
mess.
We're not talking about Bendis. Let's leave
What
that
did he
out.
say? I don't want to be constrained by continuity. Why? Because I've never read any of these books before. I just want to write what I feel these characters would do. That's why Scarlet Witch is insane. There's no such thing as chaos magic. And he brought his own people over with him. He was able to rewrite a significant amount of the Marvel universe with a bunch of mishmash. So we should be very careful anytime somebody calls the history of these characters. And again, what Marvel and DC have pulled off is pretty incredible if you think about it, because this is a serialized character that has been collaborated on by multiple people and is still a cohesive character. Still a cohesive character after all of that. And these guys refer to the history as baggage. Dude, go write your own stories.
That was not what I was
Well,
expecting you at all.
oh, I think the going into the original Ultimate Universe, which was the brainchild of Bill Jemas, and the idea to take it and saying, "Hey, we have all this stuff," could be interesting for a bunch of fans. But the problem was that his approach was it was struggle. The book was originally struggling, but it kind of gained things with it being kind of rare. They underpublished it, and then at the same time, then sort of the buzz happened, and then with the underpublishing, they were able to kind of do some sort of, market it, so to say, oh, it's worth something. So at the same time, and then people just caught on to it. Now they took everything that happened, and as regretfully, he threw it all away. It wasn't like I'm going to do accessible stories with Spider-Man, which we already saw with which was in between continuity, supposedly with what's the name, Untold Tales of Spider-Man, which of course, as anything, as you do and delve into the past, you're going to add your own stuff that kind of goes off from where things were, or Spider-Man being a little more powerful in the Untold Tales than he was back then. One of the things that the hard part is that the Bendis Spider-Man became that, and it was like, it was so off as far as the character. It was kind of what we see Peter Parker in the cartoons, but at the same time, people would say, no, Peter Parker doesn't do this. He holds back all the time. He holds back. And we have a person who's very emotionally struggling at times when he was in college. Flash Thompson says the wrong thing and picks him up, and as Peter Parker is about to punch him, he's like, I just meant this. Oh, sorry. Like, or in the street, someone comes in there, like whack, and that sort of thing. And they're like, no, he doesn't have a temper, that sort of thing. He does. He has the Parker look. It's all that stuff, but it's kind of forgotten and thrown into the Ditko realm. It's like, but a lot of that stuff I just mentioned was in the Romita time. So it's like kind of people looked at it and said, and kind of looked at what he did as what it is. But at the same time, so much has happened under the Ultimate brand, putting out another Ultimate new one where the character died, which I don't felt the death of Spider-Man shouldn't have even been kind of remembered, because he's hated in New York. He might have some moments where people like him, but he's a character that has this negative campaign against him, right? And I know it's a little different, but they had all the heroes having this moment of shock of being like, maybe Captain America and Fantastic Four and Johnny would have this shock, but then at some points they'd be like, maybe Ms. Marvel would be like, oh, I met him a couple times. He was a nice guy. Or he helped me out one time. It wouldn't be like we're going in every time someone passes, all the heroes go to it like it's a it's a event. But a lot of stuff happened in the original Ultimate Universe. That sale stuff I was saying, and to do a new one, and will it be a new guy deciding to take up Spider-Man outfits, and they're going to be a new sort of thing, and that never really works. But he's Jonathan Hickman, and he's had some successful runs on more sort of Fantastic Four. People have bought into his X-Men, but the Krakoa stuff came before that. It was already with who was it? Jason Aaron.
Oh Lord.
So more so
Jason Aaron. Jason Aaron, who's getting ready to go to Action Comics and write Superman. Jason Aaron. Oh, good grief, man. I heard he's gonna go write Action. I heard he's gonna go write Action Comics. Man, I nearly wet my trousers. I was like, this is the guy who turned Thor, and Thor still hasn't recovered. Oh, Jason Aaron.
Well, he put Krakoa back in the swing of things, and then now it became such a big thing now. So who knows?
That doesn't reassure me too much there.
Well, I know I wasn't expecting it to, but at the same time, it's this is whatever they're trying to do, they're we'll see what happens with this one.
All I gotta say is anybody
Jason Aaron's actually pretty good.
Baggage, don't expect too much.
All right, so look, come on, the next one, probably to me the most controversial of all of them is the Peach Momoko is taking over the X-Men. So when Hickman,
what the art?
Huh?
What, the art or the story?
The story.
Peach Momoko.
Peach Momoko.
She can write?
All it says is that the visionary creator Peach Momoko reinvents mutant kind for the ultimate age in Japan. So they're basically going from the Japanese point of view. It looks like she finds out she's a mutant, and so
this is an ultimate title. Okay, so it doesn't count. All right, got it.
Well, that's what they said until then Miles Morales came over. So let's not forget that.
Not every character is Miles Morales. Okay, we can't take the exception or the outlier as the rule. All right, we know that hundreds, if not thousands, of characters get created on a yearly basis, and we don't even know who these characters are.
I agree.
Right? Miles Morales made it. Great. That doesn't mean these other characters are going to go whatsoever. So now that being said, she's doing this. It's in the Ultimate Universe. May click, may not. But the bottom line is, regardless, either way, won't count.
Okay. What do you think? You think that this is you don't think this is controversial? I think this is taking on the X-Men. It's a whole new thing. It's not in Japan, first of all.
I wouldn't even at the same time going with what Cal is saying. I'm not going to make too much out of this. This is obviously she's a hot talent. They're letting her have fun with this. It's an ultimate thing. Let's see what happens. The fans can be fickle, or they can be like, this is the only, like Ultimate Spider-Man, the original one. This is the only Spider-Man, this is the only X title I read. And so many times over years, that's become the saying. Even Quesada, who wound up at odds with Byrne, said, oh, the Hidden Years is the only X-Men I read, the only book I can understand. There's so many times where people say that, and at the same time, we don't know where it's going to end. So it could be one that catches with the fan because she has such a large fan base. But they're just letting her have some fun with it. They don't want to bog her down with a lot of editorial stuff. Whereas, at the same time, with people who know the stuff, they would bog them down with heavy editorial stuff. So this is just letting this creator play in the field. And if you're a fan of this stuff, I mean, I'm a big X-Men guy and I haven't read books in a while. So this isn't really something that's going to pull me into it. I know that Chris Claremont was talking about asking to do another X-Men title since they were rebooting it again, or not necessarily reboot, but relaunching it with new talent. So this is kind of more of a, whatever it is. I think they had a character like this in the X-Men. So I'm not sure if it's a new one that had this looks like it's instead of a force field, like another character connected to this girl. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, hey, I guess I have to sum it up. We're not for all this stuff currently, but we'll look and see what happens. Okay,
Hey, that's
Spinner
right.
Rack.
It's always telling when the idea that they have is let's do an alternative universe. That's always very telling. Well, one, they don't have any ideas, but two, they might be working on some stuff and they'll actually bring it to the main universe. Or three, these are the ideas and they're hoping that they actually get some traction in this alternative universe and then they can slowly but surely bring them over. We'll see.
We will see.
You don't
Like
think these things look like a slimmed down orthopedic, like when your foot is broken?
it looks like it's metallic as
Foot
a.
is broken. How about the whole leg?
It looks like it's metallic, like
No,
a
seriously, man.
robo.
At least I can give DC some credit for the initiative that they're working on right now and the thing that they're planning on doing for next year that I heard about from at NYCC. I think those are good ideas. I think those are good ideas at the end of the day, especially with the readership what you have right now, where these guys are turning out and buying facsimile covers. They are buying facsimile covers of book and paying top dollar for it, paying top dollar for facsimile foils, and it just shows where the readership is at. They don't trust any of the new stuff. They just want the old stuff. They want it repackaged. They want stuff that's new but don't change anything. And and neither company truly has really been able to address it. But at the very least, with Dawn of DC, I've seen some initiatives to say, okay, this is actually a good step. For everything I'll see, like with Action Comics and Superman, I'll see Wonder Woman, but then I'll see Green Arrow. I'm like, okay, at least there's something trying with the main universe. This right over here, yeah, what Petey said was being polite, in terms of like orthopedic. This is literally like pins in the joints at the end of the day. It's like we don't got any ideas. We don't have it. We don't have any ideas. We've been living off these movies for the last 10 years. Now we got to actually tell some stories. We don't have anything. It's been too much deconstruction. We don't know who these characters are right now. Please pardon us. Please pardon us while we go to physical therapy, rehabilitate ourselves, and see if we can actually do it again. Coming from the house of ideas, this is lame, really lame. But again, that's just me.
So before you close us out, do you want to go into this thing you sent me about the X titles? About what was it Mark Brooks?
Bring it up.
Yeah, bring it up. I don't remember what I said.
Oh,
Or how long ago I sent it.
it's too much. What's the name on this? These ads are just popping up like crazy. So we got Mark Brooks revealed a return to the X Mansion at NYCC. That good? That's good for me. I don't like
That's
the show.
cool, right? So I mean,
But he's just returning as artist, right?
And
He's
I'm
not writing that stuff, is he?
Mark Brooks.
Yeah.
Not sure. Let's
Well,
see.
what they really need right now, Mark Millar. I think Mark Millar said it. So I'm pretty much just agreeing with what he wrote. You need like top talent on these books and favorite talent on these books too. So you need something with like Mark Brooks and Mark Millar on the same book, where the art is going to bring people in and they trust the storytelling, so you can get some submission out of the readership. Because otherwise, it's just going to be more facsimile books at the end of the day. I mean, some of the facsimiles I've seen, they got like the first appearance of the Penguin. Most guys don't even know when the first appearance of the Penguin is, or really even care. But they're pushing the facsimile stuff because the other book, they're realizing, look, there's a demand for that stuff, and we're not really bringing them in with the regular stories. But, with the exception of a handful of characters that might be just easy in order for them to do. But if you can't sell Spider-Man at Marvel Comics, you've got a problem. And what they keep showing is that they have that particular problem. But Mark Brooks, if he's doing art, that's a great way to bring people in. Who's doing the story, and is it somebody that people actually trust? If it was me, like I would put, what is it? I would put Mark Wade on the Superman books. It's just a matter of who you would do, for the art. You can pretty much put anybody on Batman right now. Most of his readership is just so. Those guys just love pretty much anything, So you can put almost anybody on them. But then I look at what they did with Wonder Woman, where they put Tom King, and I don't know who that artist is. That Adam Paquette or Dan Mora? And I read the first issue, and I was like, man, this is just off the wall. in terms of a start, but it is Tom King at the end of the day. But at least it's something. Once you're going back to the, you're going back to the whole ultimate stuff at the end of the day, not a good sign. You'll definitely might have one or two stories that hit, but you need that for your own universe. Okay. You need that for your own universe, and not when the guys are still coming about, look, I would love to tell a Spider-Man story, but I don't want to do it without the back. Then you don't have any Spider-Man stories to tell. Okay, you need to write something else. So, here, maybe we'll give you an outlet this way. Maybe give you some backup stories, is what they used to do with writers like that who couldn't tell a story. Instead, they get the whole book where they can just come over here. Well, I've got an idea. No, this is not a place for pastiches. You're supposed to be coming with some new ideas.
Well, it looks like they're doing the.
Barry Dugan is going to be the writer.
Yeah, they look like they're doing the fall of the House of X and the rise of the Power of 10. So we'll see.
More mutant tragedy. More mutant tragedy.
You gotta
Haven't
have
seen
mutant
that
tragedy.
before.
You
I think
gotta
they're
have
trying
some.
to whittle down the amount of mutants there are. That's what I think they're trying to do.
Here's a storyline you need to tell with these mutants. You need to tell a story that's actually positive, okay? And then you can go back to all this woe is me, everybody hates us, even though we got to defend the planet, Krakoa's alive. You need a positive story at the end of the day, because they have sure as heck mined all of the pessimism they can out of this group. The idea was that they were working towards a better future, and then they were told, hey, that future's never coming anyway. You got to get to something positive with these characters. It can't be this woe is me stuff in perpetuity.
Well, that aspect of it is what, the hard part is that was the shift that I think people have loved for a long time. Whereas the X books, you look at, before Byrne, before Cockrum, they had their periods. You can always do that. But at some point, Chris Claremont had the thing that he wanted, making Magneto the good guy that made all the heroes, Avengers, Fantastic Four, saying, hey, this guy just tried to blow up half the Earth 3 and 4 times. Like, why are the X-Men hanging out with them? And the X-Men couldn't call on past continuity to say, you know what? Magneto's too bad for us to hang out with. So, all right.
So far, the best thing I've seen these guys, Marvel, come up with were those variant covers they did for Rom. That's so far, that's the best thing that they've done. Oh, and those omnibuses for Rom as well. That was a really nice gesture to all those Rom fans out there. If you didn't get one, I recommend that you do, because they are not going to be reprinted.
So we can just do this quick ad of it. Cheapest animation ever. Like Iron Man was in
Magneto's going to be the savior.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Right. Biggest problem I see: the X-Men of today, Wolverine. X-Men of tomorrow, Wolverine. That's enough for me to be out.
They're not getting rid of Wolverine.
It's like this dude's like, hey, he'll be, what is the age of extinction? Everybody else, we know who's not going to die. We know who's not going to die at the end of the day. I don't know, it's just too many. For me, it's just too many of the same. Well, I mean, it's like twice told tales, thrice told tales. Especially for me, somebody who's not an X-Men reader, and I still know all the storylines. Okay, that's the thing. I'm not a regular reader, and I still know all the storylines at the end of the day. To look at this ad and say, hey, I've seen this already. I've seen this. The only thing that perks my up is when I see Magneto, who should definitely be their foremost threat, but that goes back to their foundation where he was their foremost threat. And before everything else just started going haywire, and everything was their foremost threat at the end of the day. But hey, you got to sell these books somehow, right? It's either that or it's nothing but more facsimile covers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the X-Men. The fact that when they did Secret Wars and Magneto was with the good guys, and the Avengers and FF were iffy on it. Of course, he turned on the good guys in issue 2, but then Cyclops says we don't approve of his methods. But it's like, come on, like he don't approve of him trying to kill the X-Men, which he did routinely. Like, come on, that's a little like that's stilting the writing. So the X-Men are kind of like, hey, he just has a way about him. He's when you have to keep him as the bad guy, you can't.
He has a way. He has a way, all right. He has a way. It's called evil.
Yeah, yeah. And the people bought into making him into a Holocaust survivor, saying this is a better background.
Yeah,
That's a better one for somebody else, not Magneto. He's
no, he's still you can do the whole you can do the Holocaust thing at the end of the day. He's still evil. It doesn't change anything. And you can't combat evil with evil. They tried to make him sympathetic with the whole thing. I'm like, okay, that's good. You can definitely understand how he gets to where he is. He's still evil at the end of the day. But that's another argument with making villains sympathetic, and then people don't seem to understand. Like, yeah, this guy had a rough life. He's still evil. You can't move the planet out of alignment because you're a Holocaust survivor. It doesn't give you carte blanche to do whatever the hell you want to do.
Well, that's the thing. Having that background and then saying, well, I'm going to be a mass murderer myself. I think those methods are perfect and enslave everybody too. That's the best way to do things. Oh, no, he did. Yes, he did. He enslaved his Brotherhood of Evil Mutants were his slaves. So anyway, you want to close this out? Oh, there's any last things, Mars?
No, I don't have anything to say. We kind of went over it. We're scared, and we'd like to see what happens. Okay, simple as that. Spin rack.
Out.
Gentlemen,